All right, I'm going to talk about section 9.9. It's called area of a parallelogram, and this is going to be another pretty easy section. Recall that a parallelogram is just anything with it's a four-sided quadrilateral with both opposite sides parallel. So for example, I could write square. Square is a parallelogram. The rectangle, also a parallelogram. And even if I kind of lean on it, we can get these. And that one was terrible. I'm going to try redrawing that. Also terrible. Pretend like I didn't draw that part. And we have our opposite sides being equal and parallel. And we're going to be getting the area of it. Now, we've talked about the area of squares, and everybody knows the area of a square. That is side squared, right? Side times side. If I have a side here and a side here, all I do is multiply them to get the area. And in fact, if I'm going to get the area of a rectangle, it's pretty similar. I have my rectangle, and I have my length times my width, and my area equals L times W, right? L times W, and that's going to give me the total of the inside. But what's interesting is that if I have my parallelogram, and I want to get my area, and I have, say, my width here and my length over here, I can't just multiply them together in order to get my area, because it isn't the same if I kind of squished it and straightened it up. So instead of the width and the length of this side right here, we're going to be using something different. Sorry, someone's calling me I'm making a video, don't they know? And what we're going to be using instead is a formula, and it looks like this. Area equals base times height. So when we get a parallelogram, we're going to label it a little bit differently. Make sure you can see. Well, I am terrible at drawing parallelograms. I'm so sorry. Pretend like it's like this, and we'll just color that in like no one ever saw it. Whew, good thing no one saw that. And I have my base down at the bottom, and then I have my height right here. And what you'll notice is if I tried drawing another parallelogram over here, let me see. I can do it a little better. And if you imagine that my height is this part right here, this is my base, and this is my height, and if I sliced off this piece, kind of cut it off right there, and then I moved it over here, it would actually complete my rectangle. And that's how I kind of flipped it over. That's why my base times height works, because I can kind of turn this into a rectangle and use this length times width. But instead of using the length and the width, what I need is this height, and that's the key. So my formula for my parallelogram is just area equals base times height. Let's take a look at a quick example, and most of the ones in this section are going to be very easy because of this. So for example, this is my parallelogram. Gosh, I'm bad at it. And my base is 6 centimeters, and my height is 2 centimeters. My area is simply 2 centimeters times 6 centimeters, which, if you recall, is 12 centimeters squared, because I need to remember to multiply my centimeters as well. And in this section, they're just going to give you a bunch of these, and you're basically going to multiply them. Remember to add in this squared, because it is very important, because a square centimeter is very different than a centimeter, and it's important to keep the difference. Go ahead and go on. I'll do one more little parallelogram example if you'd like to see it. my parallelogram is terrible. My base is 9 inches, and my height is 5. My area equals 5 inches times 9 inches. 5 times 9 is probably 45. Yeah, it is. Inches squared. There we go, and we're done.